Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another pro-revenge Reddit video. In our first story, a slumlord won't let my company out of a 5-year lease. Let's jump right in. To start, this is about the company I work for and a trip I took because I had to wire a building for a computer network because the building owner wouldn't. Some backstory. Our company was moving a remote site to a new building. As the IT guy for the company, I was asked to look at the new building and get network ports marked out. The landlord refused to put in any low voltage lines, and we got quotes, but they were for thousands of dollars. Enter me, my car, and 4 boxes of Cat 6 Plenum. It's about an 8-hour drive, and I was doing about 30 drops. Not a ton, but still a few days' work in some place that's already built up. And it's drop ceiling with insulation on top. Messy, itchy work. So here's the story, day 1. We get there Monday morning at the start of the month. It's actually a cool summer morning, and we're from further south, so no one notices the air conditioning not working for about an hour. Slowly, the building begins heating up. It gets to 80 by noon, 85 at 3 p.m. The rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows are greenhouses. It's absolutely miserable. We've been told by the workers still on site that the leasing company was told there was no air conditioning in our building 3 weeks ago. The other thing is there are still workers on site. The building isn't completed. So much for being ready for a handover day 1. Day 2, we're getting agitated. It's 80 degrees in the AM when we first walk in. It's sweltering. The other guy that came up with me is the facilities manager. He's screaming at people over the phone to fix the flipping air conditioning. We're all exhausted from the heat by 3 p.m. I found a 4-foot hole in the ducting when I opened the ceiling tile. The air conditioning was blowing, but there was no cold air. We're told the compressor is broken. Day 3, more of the same. Miserable in the morning, I'm finally getting the last lines punched in on the patch panel. The air conditioning guys arrive about 10 a.m. They finally fix the unit at 2 p.m. We ask them what they did. They say, a lot of things. We again said, what did you do? The reply was, we can't tell the tenants. Red flag alert. We contacted our realtor. She said she would look into what was done. She sends an email later that night that says they changed the refrigerant from R22 to R410A. I tell the facilities guy, no way, dude. That's like putting gas in a diesel motor. They'd have to change out the entire system. They didn't do that in 4 hours. They basically duct taped and WD-40'd the thing back together, and it will run poorly for a month or so, then give out, and we'd be stuck with a replacement. Day 4. Still no running water to some areas. Still workers on site. The air conditioning can't keep up with the noonday sun, and it still hits around 80 by the end of the day. The air conditioning runs continuously. We're packing up all the stuff we moved in and moving out. I notice all the fire sprinklers look like they have moved, and the metal protection around the drop tile has fallen to the floor. The sprinklers are no longer protruding from the tiles in places. In others, they're quite a bit lower than they were. Yep, the air conditioning fools stood on the fire sprinklers to fix their lousy ductwork. We are now looking for a friendly way out. We contact the landlord and say, you haven't delivered a finished building, we're moving out. The lease is broken. The landlord has a 36-page lease. The landlord won't let us out of the lease. It's for 5 years. This is not starting off well. We get in contact with the corporate lawyer and the realtor. They both agree we're kind of flipped. We are desperate for any way out. I start looking at the fire system. I used to run all kinds of low voltage lines, fire, security, etc. There is no fire panel in our portion of the building. No smoke detectors are hooked up to anything. More red flags. One of our employees that was moving the heavy gear says, oh yeah, I meant to mention, I never saw any building permits anywhere. Ding, ding, ding. They did this build-out, including demolition, running new plumbing and power lines, and destroying the fire system without a city permit. Cue the call to the city inspector's office. Day 5. I wasn't here for this part, but the facilities manager told me this. The city inspector pulled the permits for the building. There weren't any. He finds multiple violations of city code, red tagged our area, removed the certificate of occupancy. When I told him to check the fire system like you said, he just goes, "Oh, no, I have to make a call." He calls the fire marshal. Day 8. Fire marshals arrive on scene, find no active alarm system in our portion of the building, red tag. Find the sprinkler riser for the entire building in our area. No water pressure, condemn the entire building. Basically, they wouldn't let us out of the building because we signed a lease, even though they never delivered a building in any semblance of working order. I called the building inspector, got them smoked, who then called the fire marshal, who condemned the entire building. They are still trying to fight us over it, but we're pushing for them not only refunding our deposit and the rent, which they have already done, but for all the time spent moving gear in and out and all the wiring. Our lawyers say they don't have a leg to stand on, and he's happy for them to pay his fees as well. Story number 2, some positive revenge. So I'm a terrible person by trade. I'm a dealership sales manager. I'll make this brief. I managed a digital sales team for a year or so. I got really close to the team, trained them, grew the team into number 1 in group, number 2 for our manufacturer in region out of 400 plus dealers. I was let go by my general manager who runs the dealership during the start of COVID, over the objections of our group, corporate, because my position cost a ton of money in commission. I kind of wrecked my pay plan. Let's fast forward a bit. My old team keeps in touch with me, asks for assistance every now and then, and I'm always happy to help. I genuinely like these people and I care about their professional development. Nobody has been put in place to replace my old position, though the team's doing really well. I hired great people and put a lot of effort into training myself out of a job. Now I have a higher title, more responsibility, and run the entire sales side of a different dealership. Recently, I get a call from my old team telling me the management upped their pay to compensate for lower volume, then retracted it after a month. They want to quit and work elsewhere. My current dealer doesn't run a department like theirs, so I have no real need for them. I start calling people I know. Apparently, my reputation is better known and more highly regarded than I expected. Soon, I get interviews for my old team lined up. They're getting new positions, they get to keep working together, and they all have quite large pay bumps. The delicious part? Tomorrow, the general manager who let me go is going to receive, effective immediately, resignations from his entire digital sales department. This department was the number 1 in a group of 15 dealerships. This department accounted for 60 to 70% of the store's sales volume in a given month. Without these trained and capable staff, they're going right back to where they started as far as closing percentage. Based on their current numbers, the general manager who fired me is looking at losing 30 to 40% of the store's sales volume. He's actually in danger of turning a loss due to all the investment in digital marketing and sales, which won't see anywhere near the return on investment to justify it. Mind you, this is a sizable franchise car dealership. We're talking millions per month when all runs well. He'll never know I found the team new jobs. He'll never know I called in favors, made introductions, and sold the hell out of these people to their new employers. I didn't do this for the revenge. I did it because I care about my old team and their development. They're amazing at what they do and deserve to be paid highly for it in a lower stress environment than where they were. I got the best revenge I can imagine. And all I had to do was be a decent person and keep cheerleading the team I once helped build and train. I've got an update. I just got a call from a guy I know who does finance and insurance product stuff, though not for my old employer. What did you do, bro? I played a bit coy, asked if anyone there knew it was me. You know I used to be general sales manager up there. I keep in touch. People are losing their mind. All I heard is the general manager's on the warpath, so Redacted called me telling me he might need a hookup for a new job. I put 2 and 2 together once I heard and called you. So, what did you do? And that is the only fallout I've heard so far. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe and click on that notifications bell. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.